Hello, hello. Back in the shed working on the Galant Coupe. And today, it's all about the doors. So, these are the two doors. And today, I'm going to pull the doors apart, so get the glass out. Try and preserve these rubbers. I'm not sure if they're available, if you can buy them. So in the meantime, I'll try and get them off and without destroying them, and then have a good look over these doors for rust and fix any. And then get the rest of the hardware out and sand them back, get them ready for primers. Having a quick look here, this is the passenger side door. It looks pretty good for rust. Little bit of surface, but seems okay. Yeah, it seems pretty good. And the skin on these both look really good. I'm not sure what's happened, but it looks like someone's sanded them back at some stage and put some sort of a primer on the outside. So, but they've left the door handles in, so go figure. But, and this is the driver's door. Probably a bit crustier, but it seems okay. These here, these holes along the bottom, they're drain holes. So when water gets past the window seal, it doesn't just sit in the bottom of the door and rot them out. But these appear pretty good. A little bit of surface rust. I'll have to dig in here and over here to have a look, but you know, worst case, this is a pretty simple repair. But no, they look pretty good. All right, I'll put on a time lapse and start pulling the doors apart. Come back later. So I'm trying to preserve this rubber, and I've just worked these, just gently eased these two little clips that hold the rubber into the door off, and the rubber feels pretty good actually. For a 40-something-year-old car, it's still very soft and workable. So all I'm doing here is going either side of where the rubber goes. There's like a plastic tang that sits within the rubber and then clips into the door. And if I just pull on the rubber, it's going to rip here. It's going to rip this piece of plastic, probably tear the rubber here. And so then, you know, the rubber's no good. So, it's not going to be retained in all the places. So what I'm trying to do is just ease it on the edges of the plastic piece within the rubber. And then, yeah, just ease it out like that. It's very fiddly. There we go. Well, slowly worked and got it all out without damaging it, which is good. So I'll be able to use this again, just give it a bit of a clean up. And I've got to say, these are really well made little cars. I guess it's probably a Chrysler, Mitsubishi, Dodge, Mopar thing. Funny, a buddy was saying the other day that I'm a Mitsubishi Chrysler guy, and I don't have a brand, but I had a laugh. I had a look around this morning. Of the 10 cars that are here, 8 of them are either Chrysler, Mitsubishi, Dodge or Plymouth, which is pretty funny, but I don't know. So now, so I've had a good look at this door. It's fine. It's perfectly fine for rust, this one. Just get this out of the way. All the inside here is fine. It's just going to need a clean up and get it ready for primer. And then on the inside here, sorry, on the skin here, there's a whoop-de-doo along this body line here, just a bit of a ding. I'll probably get in there. Yeah, you got good access to it from the inside, so I'll get in there with the hammer and dolly and try and neaten that up. I'll have to sand back up here, along the top here, above the door handle. I can see that that's just there. That's there's some filler there, so I'll have to see what's going on underneath that. On the inside, it actually feels fine. I think that someone's just done some crappy bodywork at some stage, well, probably when they were prepping this door last time. And then this is where the mirror, or whatever mirror was on this car, it doesn't have any mirrors now. This is where that was screwed into the sheet metal, and there are 2 little highs there from when the mirror's been on, and it pulls back a bit and it pulls up the bodywork. So I need to figure out what mirrors this car's getting, and then either get this flat, fill the holes in, and then put new, because most of the mirrors are going to have different mounting spots. So most likely I'll fill these 2 holes in, get this flat, and then down the road when I obtain some mirrors, I'll put in some fresh holes wherever the mirrors are going to sit in, depending on what type they are. But yeah, the good news is that this door is good. Like, it doesn't require any rust repair. It's just a few little imperfections here on the skin, and get all this old paint off up here and whatever, and then get it into primer. But that's a win. So now on to door number 2. So what I meant when I said these were well made or well put together, just somebody was thinking when they designed some of this stuff. So pulling out the glass, for example, it's so simple. I'm not sure what you could see from the time lapse on the other door, but there's the way that it works is there's a channel here, like a runner that the glass moves up and down on, and then there's one on this side too. You can just see it sticking through here. They're basically just 2 channels that go up and down, and then there's these blocks or these steel pieces here, which ride in those channels. There's one here, and there's one just over here as well. So as you wind the window up and down, all these 2 channels do is keep the glass solid. So the glass is actually connected to these pieces of steel here by there's holes in the glass, and then there's like a nut and bolt scenario and some plastic washers that just retain the glass. So all these channels, so the glass is retained by these channels, and that's all that whole arrangement does. It's got nothing to do with the glass moving up and down, which is the opposite of how Australian cars, Commodores, Falcons, Holdens, whatever, the way they do it is that the mechanism that moves the glass is also part of the mechanism that keeps the glass in the right place. The problem that gives you then is that as the glass is moving up and down, this mechanism here is naturally putting a bind into it because it's trying to push it in one of the directions. It's either trying to push it towards the back of the channel or to the front, and that inherently makes it it's fighting against itself the whole time, and it's just not the right way to do it. Whereas this design here, it's super simple. You've got this scissor mechanism, which is the same way that most glass or most windows of this era move up and down. So as you wind the crank here, it moves the scissor in or out, and that pushes the glass up and down. But that's got nothing to do with locating the glass. It only moves the glass up and down. The glass is located by the sides here, so it's super simple. So to pull the glass out, all you got to do, there's a screw here and a screw here, which gets it separated from the scissor mechanism to control the height. And then there's 2 bolts and 2 nuts here, and 2 bolts and 2 nuts here. And I'll put it on a time lapse so you can see, but you actually pull these 2 out, then you pull these 4 out, and the whole thing just comes out as a oneer. And then to put it back together, it's a doddle. All you got to do at that stage is the reverse, and then it's done. Whereas the last car I put together in here was the Tirana, and it was a pain in the ass getting all that to work properly and getting it lined up, and then so that when the window's winding up, it's not fighting against itself and all the rest of it. It's too complicated for what it is. This is a way better system. But there you go. Clearly a Mopar guy now. Here's the driver's door. Previously, when whoever done the bodywork for this, they hadn't removed the handle, the door handle or the lock, and it looks like they just primed it over whatever was here before, and you see it's flaking paint and all sorts of nonsense going on here. So all that's going to have to come off. There's some weirdness here that looks like bog or filler or whatever, but it's not nice, so I need to figure out what's going on here. You can see original burgundy paint, or I don't know if that's a primer, or maybe the white's the original for this door, I don't know. Looks like some blue under there as well. And then there's some weirdness going on down here, and obviously same as the other door, where the mirror was, it's raised and nasty. So it's actually 2 sets of holes there, so it's had 2 different types of mirrors on it before. So yeah, I think first off I'll strip this back and find out what's going on here, and then I'll sand this with the DA and have a look what's going on here, and then tend to that and this and all of this mess. As often the case, once you start digging in, things get worse. But all of the cracking and the paint imperfections and the nonsense that was going on here, there's actually nothing wrong. This is beautiful. This is a perfect condition around here. It's just that someone had left the old crappy paint on there, and for whatever reason had put new material over the top, primers and stuff, and it all cracked and crow's footed up and looked terrible. It could have been anything under there. So now that this is all back to metal, bare metal, that's great, no problem. Down here, there's a little ding there. There was someone had moosed up this area a little bit, done a pretty crappy job. There was a big dirty crack through it that hadn't bonded to the metal properly. So this had to go back to metal as well. And there is just a tiny little low in there, which is I think what they were probably trying to get repaired with the shoddy bog work. Down here, tiny little evidence of pitting from rust. Someone had bogged over that and they hadn't done too bad a job. I probably could have left that, but this door's got to go back to metal now. I've lost confidence. Well, I never had confidence, but it needs to go to metal, the whole thing, because there's nothing worse than putting fresh paint on and then it starts cracking or peeling or crow's footing or whatever because you couldn't be bothered going back to metal. So So this is where the mirror bolted on. This is the driver's door. It's had two separate mirrors here before. You can see the holes. And it's raised in this area because when the mirror is screwed in, it pulls the sheet metal up as you tighten it down. I'm not actually sure. I know some of these cars have got mirrors that sit out on the front guards, and other ones have some sitting on the doors. I'm not really sure what's original to these, but don't have any mirrors yet that have been landed on to go on this car. So I think I'll get this flat and weld these holes up and then just add some mirror mounts later on down the track when it's about perfect for that one. All right, I think that's it. So now I'll weld these 4 little holes up and grind it flat and smooth it off, and hopefully that's should be this one done. Then this might need a little skim of filler over those areas, and there's a couple other spots on this door that need just a little bit of filler, so I'll get into all that now. I'll weld up the holes and give it a little bit of filler, and then this door's ready for etch primer, which is pretty cool.
The
So still on the driver's door. This is the only bit I'm even mildly concerned about from a rust perspective. On the inside, the frame bit, I guess. Just a little bit of surface rust around here and here. These are the drain holes, like I mentioned earlier. And then just along this bit here where the skin meets the frame, that's folded over and spot welded and then seam sealed along there. There's just little remnants. So all I'm going to do here is get the wire wheel and just take this back and then give it a rust treatment, and that's it. That's all it's going to need. And then the rest of this will get a scuff back, a big clean up, sand it back, and then this inner piece here is ready for etch primer, and then the other side of the skin is now ready for etch primer as well, after I've just done the little bit of bog work on there. So just give this a really quick wire wheel to get the loose flaky stuff off, then hit it with a rust treatment, and yeah, give it a sand. Now, I'm not exactly sure how good that comes up, but from a rust perspective, these doors are amazing. They're as good as it gets. So yeah, just give them a quick rust treatment now, and then later on the inside here, I'll give them a coat of like a rust protectant paint, like a POR 15 or a rust guard or something like that. I'll give them a coat, but that will be later on. That'll be after. Alrighty, fast forward about 3 hours and I've repeated the same on the second door. So fixed the bit where the mirror was, got it bare metaled, fixed over the 2 or 3 rough bits that needed a bit of filler work here and down there. And now just shoot them with a coat of etch primer and stick them under the bench and move on to the next thing. So, all right, here we go. Now that's a wrap. Doors are in etch primer. Hopefully they're all straight. They look pretty good in the light here, so I'm super happy with that. But yeah, good progress. Good to get the doors out of the way. So now the bonnet's done, the doors are done, and so I guess next it'll be onto the engine bay, and all the rest of it. So yeah, cool. Thanks heaps for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.